Good to have you with us on Ed Schultz News and Commentary on this Wednesday edition. So I guess we're all supposed to think that there's some sea change that's going to take place in the House of Representatives now that Paul Ryan is allegedly reeled in the radicals to tell them that there's not going to be any deals if he's going to be Speaker of the House. I don't buy it. Let's clear the deck early this morning. This is the same Paul Ryan that called people takers. You remember the fight that we had for the 99ers when the Great Recession was taking place and people were losing their jobs and they couldn't get back into the economy for several years and their unemployment benefits ran out? And there was a big fight in Congress and the Democrats wanted to extend these unemployment benefits and there were all kinds of deals being cut. But at the end of the day, it was labeling that was taking place from the Republicans, and it was Paul Ryan who was leading the way saying America's nothing but a bunch of takers. We were in Lorain, Ohio, doing a story on the steel mill there, and one steel worker said, I've never taken anything in my life. He doesn't understand American workers, nor does he care. This is a guy who helped quarterback all of these votes in the House, along with John Boehner, to get rid of Obamacare, to steal health care away from Americans after they had already voted for it and paid for it and accepted it and used it and changed their lives. He wants to take it away. He was on the campaign trail for Mitt Romney as vice presidential candidate on the Republican side and talked about privatizing Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. So those three examples right there, are you going to tell me that Paul Ryan all of a sudden has an epiphany and he's going to change and he's going to be able to work with these radicals? No, he's one of them. He's one of them. And if Democrats think that this is going to be some kind of a sea change, that he won't lead obstruction the same way Boehner did, you know, that I'm totally off the mark, because I don't think this guy's ever going to change. He's an ideologue. He's far more of an ideologue than Boehner ever was. And I think it's going to be more of the same. Why is he saying all these things? Because he wants the power. And no one is saying that. He is perfectly positioned to grab the power of Speaker of the House and work his agenda over the long haul. That's what Ryan is about. But this is what he's telling his House colleagues.
First, we need to move from an opposition party to being a proposition party. Because we think the nation is on the wrong path, we have a duty to show the right one. Our next speaker has to be a visionary one. Second, we need to update our House rules.
Hold it right there. Hold it right there. A visionary one. He's going to come back in time and tell you that Social Security is unsustainable. He's going to come back and tell you that entitlements that we have voted on and appreciated and enjoyed and prospered from as a society have got to turn around, and we've got to privatize Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Look, I know this talk. I know how these people are, and I'll guarantee you he is setting the table to do all of this. This is about a power grab right now. Go ahead.
Second, we need to update our House rules so that everyone can be a more effective representative. This is, after all, the people's house. But we need to do this as a team. And it needs to include fixes that ensure that we do not experience constant leadership challenges and crises. Third, we as a conference should unify now and not after a divisive speaker election. And the last point is personal. I cannot and I will not give up my family time. I may not be on the road as often as previous speakers, but I pledge to try and make up for it with more time communicating our vision, our message.
Okay. Now, you know, anybody, any family man, any dad, any leader of a family can certainly understand that. The interesting word in that answer was the word team. What team? The team with the American people? Does that mean that Paul Ryan is going to be willing to work with Democrats? Or is he going to try to run them over with this majority and this gerrymandering that's taken place? And the minority will have absolutely no voice in the House. Tom Cole understands, he's the congressman from Oklahoma, and he knows that the American people aren't happy with any of this.
I think he will. The real question here is really next week. I think, look, he'll literally have 200 or more members of a 247-member conference, and I would expect, again, he'll have to go through an election process. You're not going to get coronated around here for anything. But then next week, when we're on the floor, will everybody feel comfortable with the decision that the conference made, and then, pretty much vote for him on there? Because the Democrats certainly aren't going to and shouldn't shouldn't be required to. Obviously, they're going to have their own candidate for Speaker.
Okay, so the bottom line is he thinks that Ryan's going to make it. Harry Reid is throwing his hat in the game, saying that, yeah, he hopes Ryan gets the deal.
Paul Ryan, who I hope gets to be the next Speaker, very reasonably said last week, quote, if the United States missed a bond payment, it would shake the confidence of the world economy. Well, he appears to me to be one of the people over there that would be reasonable. I mean, look at some of the other people. I'm a Paul Ryan fan. I don't agree with him on much of what he does.
Well, it's going to be a dogfight, I think. And I don't think that Mr. Ryan is going to work with Democrats. He's the same guy.